Good evening, everyone. How you doing? I'm going to start with an apology. I was talking to a Willow Fairy at Vape Fest yesterday, and she told me how much she loved that German drinking song. And like an idiot, I haven't copied it across onto my new PC. So Willow, with greatest apologies, you're going to have to wait till next week. But, so, yeah, it'll come as no shock that there's going to be a theme tonight, and it'll be what happened yesterday. That little event in Tamworth. Now, I haven't got a lot of footage yet because I just haven't had time to edit it. Maybe I'll tell you why, but I didn't think I would for tonight. But I've done a little teaser. I posted it on YouTube earlier. Just there's a few people in chat there who might be able to spot themselves in the little 1 minute trailer I've done. But next week we'll have the full thing. You're gonna have to wait until then for the footage. But I've got plenty to say about yesterday, and plenty of things I brought back with me that we can have a look at tonight. And I might even let you choose. I'll run through what I've got, and maybe you guys can tell me what you'd like to have a look at. But as ever, let's start with the titles. Now, it does appear that there's quite a long delay between me talking and you hearing it. But it's always difficult to tell, because it might be my ISP slow at downloading it. Who knows? But it might be a bit laboured, but we'll converse. I just see Steffi Jade has just entered the room. Hiya, Steffi. It was nice to meet you yesterday. Oh, it's like a veritable who's who, isn't it? Hiya, Worm. And Microsoft and Del Boy and John Bon Jovi. And who've I missed? Andy, Rodog and Rusty and Bad Seed and... God, blimey, we're all in tonight. 67 viewers, it's telling me. God, anybody would think there'd been a major vaping event yesterday. Right, I shall start. As I say, right, for anybody who missed the first few seconds, I've not got a lot of footage from Vape Fest this week. It's going to be next week because it's going to take some editing. Anybody that's ever videoed anything will know for about every minute that we put out, you're going to need a good half an hour to an hour to edit it down and make it something presentable. So I've got a minute for you. But it's okay. But before we start looking at the toys and things that I picked up, and I've got some nice stuff. I just want to tell you something that I'm absolutely thrilled about. I mean, I couldn't believe it, right? I arrived at Vape Fest, and as soon as they started selling the raffle tickets, I bought some raffle tickets, and they did a couple of draws at stage times during the day. It was good. It was a good idea. So, I couldn't believe it. I was actually talking to a very nice gentleman from Rock e-cigs. And somebody said, oh, yeah, it's yellow 15 was the ticket. And I couldn't believe it. I said, that's mine. First name out the hat. And so I was just absolutely chuffed. And I won something that I'd really got my eye on for a while, actually. And it was the Pure Smoker Icon. Now, I absolutely adore this mod already. Oh, hang on a minute. No, that was last year. This year, they drew out my ticket, and I was first name out the hat again. and I actually won a Pure Smoker Prodigy. I'm absolutely bowled over by this. I mean, I'm no mathematician. But what are the odds on being the first name out the hat 2 years in succession, winning the mod that was donated by Cloud9 Vaping, it being a Pure Smoker mod, and me winning it both times? I mean, those got to be pretty astronomical odds, particularly given that once my number was drawn in the raffle, I then had to select a number out of a bucket. It's like a tombola. So because the ticket I bought came up, I had to put my hand in the bucket, take out a number, and it was number 29, and they were pre-labelled, and number 29 was the Pure Smoker Prodigy. Now, you don't need to know me very well or watch this show very often to know how much I love this thing, and what, therefore, I'm likely to think of a version of it that takes an 18650 battery. So, we'll be looking at this at some point. Maybe tonight, maybe some other time. So, I thought what we'd do tonight, being unprepared as usual, is I'll tell you the things that I brought back that I thought you might be interested in me sharing with you. I won some stuff. I was given a couple of freebies. I've got the most expensive drip tip in the world, if anybody would like to see it. If Lisa's watching, she knows what I'm talking about. And if you like, you can pick out the things that you'd like me to go through tonight. And so if we do something like pick one or two things like that, and then I'll show you the little 1 minute teaser, I've called it, for the footage that I'll have for you next week. If you've not seen it already, I'm going to show it again anyway. So. But yeah, but again, let's make it an interactive session. So Gary wants to know when I'm going to pay him for the ticket. I already paid for that ticket, mate. I paid for the ticket, and I paid for the fit. Oh no, sorry. Shouldn't say that on air. I couldn't believe it because I'm not sure if I should say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. But because my ticket was out of the hat first, there was a guy standing at the bar, and apologies, I can't remember who it is now, but who it was that said it. But he assumed that I'd therefore won first prize, not that I was going to go and draw another number to see what prize I won, and assumed it was the Pravari. So he said, "I think you've won the Pravari." And I went, "Oh." But there you go. I'm really glad to say that it was this thing. It is rather good. Okay, so let me tell you what I got then, shall I? So the first thing I got, and I've hardly put this down yesterday or today, is this thing, which is the Touchwood, the 18650 version. You're going to be hearing about this. I'm going to do a proper YouTube review and everything on this, because not only do I like the mod, but the guy that was making them was lovely, and he needed a bit of a bunk up with the sales, and I think we went a long way to helping him do that yesterday, and I've got a feeling he's destined for good things. So that's the Touchwood. What else did I come back with? Obviously there's the Prodigy V3. The only other e-cig I came back with was an Ego, which Toby bought for me. So I bought an Ego, and I bought some gold-plated atomizers and some dual coil cartomizers that I've covered a few times. I've got one of these skirtless dual coil cartomizers, which was given to me by Ben at UK E-Liquid, so we need to have a look at that. As always with Lisa, even though it was a raffle prize, and therefore she owes you nothing, the 2 AW18650 batteries, a bunch of accessories, a drip tip, a couple of atomizers. Lovely, lovely. So we shall have a little look at all that stuff, the contents of that bag. And then I was talking to Darren from Safer Cigs, and he gave me a couple of 306s to try, because I'm so slow on the uptake. My very first e-cig, which was made by E-Light, uses a 306 atomizer, and I actually quite like that atomizer. So I'm quite pleased that they seem to be coming back into fashion a bit over the last 6 months or so. But he's given me one with a bridge and a bridgeless version of it, apparently. So that's good. And I believe, I'm not sure where those atomizers came from. They might have come from Daz as well. I know he's in the room, so tell me if you gave me those. And he's given me some of the standard resistance buds. Because if you remember, I kind of really wanted to like those, but I was finding them a bit lacking. But these apparently will be a bit better. I've got the old Vapefest Velvet liquid, which as yet is unopened. And the guys from Mirage, they gave me a disposable, which I did have a little go with and thought was quite good, but I thought, you know, that's worthy of a proper review. If you've been watching this show for a while, you'll know I've covered most of the disposable e-cigs on the market by now. And some are very good, and some aren't so good. I think this one's going to go into the quite good category, actually. So, especially at the price they're selling it at. So we're going to talk about that at some point. And then the most expensive drip tip in the world. So these are the things I've got, guys. What would you like to look at first? You tell me. Steer the show. I'll have a sip of my beer. Gary, how true is that? You know, the guy from Touchwood. Should we do the Touchwood first? In the absence of any better ideas, I think we should. Or the drip tip. Touchwood drip tip. Well, the drip tip won't take long. UFS Mark II. I saw one. In fact, I put one together in a quite kind of cack-handed way. Steffi's in the room, she'll tell you. It's the first time I'd seen one. But, if you hadn't have queue jumped, you could have won a Touchwood. I had one before the raffle tickets went on sale. Let's do the Touchwood. And then I'll tell you about the drip tip. And then I'll show you the little teaser for the video. The Touchwood. Right. This is not a box mod. It's not a box mod at all. It's rounded. It's almost a tube. But it's perhaps even a little bit more ergonomic than a tube. And we saw the guy whose name I believe was Ian. Lovely guy. And the lady that was with him, they were just smashing people. And we saw them setting up at the beginning, and it kind of they brought 20 or 30 of these. There's an 18650 version, which is the one we're going to look at, and then there was a half-size one, which I've seen people calling the Mini. Prof Beard has done one of these fantastic photo reviews on UK Vapors of the Mini version, and they were identical, but for the fact that this takes a bigger battery. So I saw them there, and they were just so eye-catching, laid out on the table. When we get to the video next week, I've got, you know, some good shots of the display, and I said, wow, what's that? And when he said Touchwood, I remembered the name. Scott had reviewed this some time ago, 6 months ago or something, and I'd seen some talk of them on the UK Vapors forum, and for some reason I'd looked at Reddit, seen Scott's review, whatever, and kind of dismissed it. It was gone from my mind. I'd forgotten all about the Touchwood. It obviously didn't excite me at all when I first saw the reviews. So when he said that, I thought, oh wow, that's not what I thought that thing was. And I found myself standing there with Gary Dibley going, my God, look how well made these are. And so he said to the guy, how much are they? And he told us the price, and it was a special price for Vapefest. And he said the 18650 is 55 quid and the Mini one's 45 quid. And Gary and I looked at each other and almost in unison looked straight back at Ian and said, you're selling them too cheap. And he said, I've only sold 6 in 6 months. So I said to him, well, I think you've just sold 2. And Gary and I purchased one. And I actually sort of said to the guy, let's go and see if we can sell all the stock you've got with you today. And we did. Because as we were going around, people were saying, what's that? And they'd try it and they'd say, has he got any left? And they cleared him out by the end of the day. So sold the lot. So, and I've never met a guy who I thought deserved to sell all his stock as much as he owns. So I'm going to be doing a review on this. And I've got a funny feeling I could see some discussions and stuff going on yesterday, and I've got a funny feeling we're going to be seeing a lot more of these things. So, right, what I'll do before I actually show you the device in detail is Ian gave me his card, which actually doesn't have his name on it, it's just got the company name. So I hope it is Ian. I did drink rather a lot yesterday. So, the company's Touchwood e-cigs, and the website, I think, it's not actually mentioned on here. Oh, I should have checked that. I should Google it. It's not hard, is it? Touchwood e-cigs. And he's got a little tagline on his business card here, which you won't be able to read from that, but it says handcrafted from reclaimed exotic hardwoods. And I'm not sure what this is, but it looks like it could be mahogany to me. In terms of how it's put together, let's get onto a better camera. Whoa, that one's shaking about. There you go. Right, so in terms of how it's put together, it's really quite simple. You've got this brass piece at the bottom, which just turns away. Battery chamber. And when I was sitting there looking at these with Gary, well, the first thing I noticed was these little cuts, and I thought, oh, is that like a damage to the wood or whatever? But no, I think having thought about it, they're vent holes, aren't they? That's what they are. One of the things I noticed, as I say, when I was talking to Gary, is I put my finger inside there and I expected it to be quite rough, because some of these wooden box mods that I've seen, even the very expensive, well-respected ones, you know, sort of 3 times the price of this, they tend to be quite rough inside, but this is actually finished beautifully inside. You're not going to get splinters or anything like that. The top end, you've got another lovely looking brass plate. You've obviously got a 510 atomizer connector there. That's just a screw that holds it all together, I think, and then an entirely mechanical switch. Brilliant. Simplicity itself. In with the battery, close it up. That's it. That's all there is. I'm actually using an adapter. This is one of the skirted DCC mega cartomizers. But obviously any 510 will do. Excuse me while I clear my throat. Magic beer. And you operate it like that. That is the Touchwood 18650 version, and it's brilliant. Brilliant. You seriously, at the price that it was a special price. I believe that they're going to be closer to 75 quid. I believe also that Jaded from UK Vapors has been doing some work on his website for him. So he obviously believes in the cause as well. You know, if you can get, I've got a feeling these are going to be quite hard to get your hands on. I do. It's gorgeous, isn't it? Just give you another close up of the finish on it. It's just. I can't show you in film. You know, you can't feel just how ergonomic that is and how comfortable it is to use. And like I say, it's not a box mod, is it? It's totally rounded. There's no square edges. And especially those guys who met me yesterday, you know, I'm not a big guy. I've got really small hands and it's comfortable. So What do you think of that? So, like I say, I will do a proper review of this in due course because it warrants one. I could just actually just sit here and vape this instead of doing the show, but you'd probably get bored and leave if I did that. So, so I won't. Oh, I've just noticed here, actually, there's something else I brought back yesterday as well. It's a juice. So I can do one of my famous juice reviews at the end if you like. Oh, and Yick's in the room. Good evening, Yick. Okay. That is about all there is to say about that thing. Get one. Just do it. Just get one. They're great. Should we have a sting? Don't know what this one is. Let's try it. The drip tip. Okay then. Right. So I'm sitting there, as you do, talking to Daz from Safer Cigs. What a lovely guy he was. Now, Daz didn't have a stand there. He came along as a punter, as far as I could tell, just like me. Just turned up, drank beer. I think he drank rather more beer than I did. But, you know, in spirit, we were there for the same reasons. And Darren gave me a few things to try. I mentioned the bud. We might have a look at that later. It's up to you. And these 306s, and I thought, oh, do you know what? I don't think I've got a 306 drip tip. Now, I know I've got one of those, is it Cherry Vapes Canon things that I bought ages ago, but the chances of me finding it are pretty slim, frankly. If I can't find an Harry tank, I'm not going to find a drip tip, am I? So I thought, oh, right, well, by the time this was going on, a lot of the vendors had packed up. But I saw Lisa at the corner of my eye. I thought, Cloud9 Vaping, Lisa, she'll have 306 drip tips. So I went over there and I said, have you got any 306 drip tips? She said, yeah, but we've only got these ones left. And they're these glass ones. So I thought, okay, that's probably, I only wanted like a plastic one, just to try them, you know, being tight. So I said, how much? And yeah, so I'd actually sorted through, because some of them were like blue and stuff like that. This one's actually called lavender, but it looks more like a clear one to me. I'm frightened to take it out of the packet. And I said, how much? Expecting to say £5-6 or something, because it's nice, isn't it, glass? She said, £13. £13. So I said, what does it do? Which she found amusing, but she wouldn't budge. And I actually found myself sort of mauling it, thinking, actually, it is rather nice. I do actually like it. So I don't begrudge the £13. And it does look rather nice. But I'm going to treat it very carefully, I think. Especially being glass. So, £13 is a bargain. Is that right? I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know. The 306s I had originally, they came... Well, they actually came in a sort of cartridge arrangement, very like the covers on the ones that Darren's given me. That looks like an E-Lights cartridge, yeah? I guess this is empty just for packaging, but they would have the filler in. Yeah, and you bought the little... Yeah. So, I didn't have a 306 strip tip. I bought the Cherry Vapes Canon one, but like I say, I don't know where that is. So yeah, so I'm a bit of a noob when it comes to 306s, really. But, so that's good. I got a good price. Well, it made me feel better. I drank a pint less beer to try and make it right in my mind. Honest. Yeah, so that's the world's most expensive drip tip. Well, it's the most expensive one I'll ever buy. Maybe I should have tried to get a second-hand one. Yeah, okay, right, so we're coming up to sort of, well, it's not quite halfway, we're 25 minutes past 9. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play a couple of trailers for shows in the week, and then we'll come back and I'll show you my little Vape Fest teaser. How does that sound? You guys decide what you want to look at next. Your choices are the juice review, the mystery juice. I bought it because I tried it and I liked it. So, it's quite good. But that was yesterday. And then, of course, there's the Prodigy, and then there's the disposable jobby from Mirage. There's the 306s. The Bowway something or others. Dazzle prompt me. That's Velvet. The skirtless DCC. You ever think about that? I'm going to play some trailers. So, I'll just do in sequential orders, because I think most of these trailers tell you what night they're on. So there's no point in me telling you as well, is there? So let's start with Monday.
Good evening, everybody.
Hey up, are you alright?
Hi.
We'll be right there. Put a silly hat on.
That's a reasonable. And good evening, one and all. Here we are with tonight's BT Talk.
And quite a few questions coming in already.
Yes, going live in 3, 2, 1. Pardon me, please.
I thought I'd put my own trailer on at the end there as well, because it took me ages, that did. It's for next week. Okay, right. So, what was the consensus? What was the consensus? What we're going to look at next? Let's have a look. Suggestions. The Vape Fest Velvet Juice. We could try that. And the 306. Okay. Maybe we could combine the two. So I did learn, because I was paying some attention then, right? I don't ignore you all of the time, that they're Bowway 306 and they're 510 Bowway LRs. Is that right? You like the music to which? To the teaser. Oh, I'll just play it. Shall I just play it? I'll just play it. Where? Oh, if I can find it. Yeah, I found it. Here we go. Nice. There you go, as a little teaser of what's coming up. I got some good interviews with with people you'll know now. If you were there, you'll know them. So it's good. Right, I think what I saw there in chat was we're going with the Vape Fest Velvet, which was the freebie juice. If anybody doesn't know, Totally Wicked worked with Decadent Vapors to produce 250 only. So it says on it, limited edition, one of only 250. And it's a one-off flavour, only done for Vape Fest 2011. It's really nicely packaged with the Vape Fest logo. I think it's a fantastic gesture, both from Decadent Vapors and Totally Wicked. Really pleased with it. Don't know what strength it is. I'll probably say somewhere. Doesn't matter, I'm going to vape it anyway, doesn't it? I'm going to try it anyway, aren't I? So, and the other thing that was mentioned was the Bowway 306. Right, so my little bag from Daz. Let's see what we got, shall we? Now, he said one of these were bridged and one was bridgeless. So, that's got a bridge. If we're dripping, I'll go with the bridgeless. Makes sense, doesn't it? So, now the only thing I know, just while I'm figuring out what to do with this, yeah, that's bridgeless. Prove it. See, it's got no bridge. Okay, so the only thing that I know about this Vape Fest Velvet liquid is that it contains brandy, apparently, because I was talking to Jason Cropper of Totally Wicked about it, and he said, because he doesn't drink alcohol, he said, I don't drink alcohol, so I haven't tried it. So, there you go. So, it's apparently got brandy in it, or made from brandy, I think was what he said. And beyond that, I don't know. This is just going to be a total surprise. So, let me just shoo these security cord guards off and get me drip tip. We'll need a device. How about a Precise P18? That seems like a good choice. It'll need a battery. Yep, that's all good. So, I was stood at Cloud9 vaping stall yesterday looking at the new P18 with the locking button. Oh, man. I'm kind of proud of myself for walking away having not splashed 140 quid. But at the same time, I wish I'd kind of got one. But I've not had this long, and I thought it's a bit soon to sort of, because the new one with the locking button would make this redundant. So I thought, well, I could flog it on. I thought, no, I'll live with this one a bit, you know. But I will be getting one of those, I'm sure, at some point in the future. Do these things come primed? Let's find out. Can't see anything. So we'll put the old 306. Now, I may be a bit of a 306 newbie, but I know that they fit on a 510 fitting. Yeah, Put, for the benefit of those that can't see, is telling me that you'll be able to buy the locking button to put on it. So, oh yeah, look, it's glowing. Look at that. Probably burned it out now. Right. I presume there's a right way and a wrong way to put this on. I'll put it on the wrong way probably. I'm frightened to push that down in case it cracks. It needs to go on further though, because it's all wobbly. Please don't break, please don't break. I don't believe it. I've just broken the £13 drip tip. Okay, I'm a bit sad about that. That was well spent, wasn't it? Are you supposed to push them all the way down? Knucklebones is obviously late. Well, else you'd know what I spent £13 on a drip tip. I'm just going to have a quick look for that Canon one. Bear with me. That was easier than it could have been. Look, I found it. Yay. The reason I spent £13 on a drip tip, for those who've only just arrived, was they were the only 306 drip tips still on sale at the time I realised I needed one. Let's go with this one. Right. The device is ready. Right, let's see what we got. Still can't see any reference to the strength of this liquid, which is unusual for a Totally Wicked or Decadent Vapors package. It just says approximately 30 millilitres. No, so I don't know how strong this is. That's the dropper, isn't it? Yeah. Drip, drip, drip. We've gone with 3 drips. It's all 18 milligram, is it? Yeah. I kind of almost said that it's probably 18 milligram, but I thought better not in case I'm wrong. I won't drop the bottle. Oops. Oh, that's sizzly. Sounds pretty good, doesn't it? Right then, here goes. So this is a Boway 306 bridgeless atomizer with a Cherry Vape Canon Delrin drip tip thing, because the glass one broke, and Decadent Vapor / a Totally Wicked Vape Fest Velvet liquid. And that atomiser's just given up. It's dead. It's not fair. That's a dead atomiser. Tum-ty-tum. Let's try it on something else, shall we? Just in case. Nope, I'm afraid that atomiser has just died. Kaput. It's an ex-atomiser. It's gone to meet its maker. What shall I break next, guys? Yeah, okay, TJ Johar. Yes, it's very easy to say you should really read the comments when you're trying to broadcast. There were 4 drops on there. That should not have blown that quickly. I'm sorry. The 306s that I started with didn't. It's dead, innit? I'll put that with the drip tip. A revisit of the BB. The BB? Which BB? That wasn't dry, John. I don't care what anybody says. That had plenty of liquid on it. So that was not dry. I've been doing this long enough to recognise a dry atomiser, I think. 2 drags, 4 drops, should be fine. But it wasn't. So you want me to try the 510? You won't smell any burning round here, not off that atomiser. Because he's dead. Should we try 510? Yeah, but it worked after that. John. Right. Let me flood this frigging thing. So this is a 510 low resistance Bowie, is it? Now, how many drops do I need to put on this? 30? It's not working. Okay. Yes, it is. Couple more for good luck. Right, so a Bowie 510 LR. With Vape Face Velvet. Right, is that the atomizer or the liquid that doesn't give much flavour? Okay. Ooh, stop. Yeah, I would agree. I'm just reading that from John on 1. Yeah, it's not a strong flavour, but it is there, yeah. TJ Jahar, coffee, chocolate, probably the liquid is quite strong. Oh, right. I think that's what you call a difference of opinion then. Well, I'm going to put some more on because that's going dry very quickly. Right, okay. Yeah, sort of coffee, and I know that there's brandy in it, and you can kind of get the aftertaste of that. Chocolate, I'm not so sure. And I don't detect any ginger either. In fact, I heard a rumour that the original idea for this had ginger in it, but then they changed their minds. So, talking about the atomizer, it's obviously giving good vapour. It's drying very quickly. So, you got to keep the thing wet, clearly. I'm not a fan of this liquid. Is that right? Is it, Derek? Yeah. I thought I heard somebody talking and saying that the original recipe was the one that was on the YouTube video was changed, and they dropped the ginger, I think. But yeah, to me that isn't particularly strong flavoured at all. Now, that said, it's an atomizer I've not used before, so maybe that's par for the course with these. Talking about the atomizer, yeah, it's got one hell of a throat hit. I would say that is comparable to the 1.8 ohm Cisco 510s that I've tried. Not as strong as the 1.5 ohm Ciscos, but it's certainly a little bit more of a kick, I think, than the 1.7, 1.8 sort of LRs that you buy, the generic ones. I do like the hit it's giving. I'd like to try that in something like the UFS. Keep it wet with a flavour that I recognise, so I can give it a more meaningful appraisal. But yeah, I mean, my initial thoughts on that are, if you like throat hit, that's got a bit of a kick, that atomizer. Yeah, very good, very good. Jury's out on the flavour, because I'll need to try it with something that I can compare with. Anyway, I'm going to run a competition now for a Bowway 306 atomizer and a glass drip tip. It's growing on me a bit. I'll persevere with it and let you know. Well, that was a success, wasn't it? Didn't that go well? Do you think I can stick it back together? Oh dear. £13. What should we do next, guys? Can we do something easy? I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to decide. Yeah. Well, what perfect timing that is. I've just caught at the corner of my eye a comment from I am Duke 69 that says, now addicted to absinthe. The mystery juice that I acquired from Rock yesterday was absinthe. And the reason was, somebody told me to go and try it. So I did. Being like, I'm just clearing the desk a bit as I go. Being an obliging chap, I went and said, yeah, all right then, I'll try it. And I did try it, and it was quite nice in their device, which you will be hearing more about in a future episode. But I quite liked it, so I bought a bottle. And what I've got here are these bud atomizers that Daz gave me very kindly. So I figured, why not fill one up and have a go with that? Because I was quite surprised. I did not expect to like this. As soon as I realised I was about to try it, I thought, ugh. But I was actually quite pleasantly surprised. What shall we burn it on? Yeah, let's try it on one of these buds, shall we? I think I can remember how to use these. One of the things that the guy from Rock was, that's R-O-K, obviously. Like I say, there will be more. I've got an interview with that guy once I've edited it down. And I'm hoping to acquire one of the things they were selling. To cover on the show in the future. And he was very sort of proud of the fact that the bottles come with a little nozzle on them. Can you see that? Alright, is that focusing? Yes. You see it has a nozzle, and that, it does seem to me like a very simple idea and a very useful one. Because I remember these bud things, you get these little filling things. Maybe I won't need it. So, these are, Daz gave me the choice of standard or high, and preferring low resistance things in general, I said, oh, I'll just have the lower of the two. So, I'm trying to remember how you fit them together. You take this little bung out, don't you? That's it. And I'm going to fill that up with this glowing green liquid. Yep, that looks a reasonable sort of level to start testing. Now, you don't put that back in, do you? Somebody answer me. Do you put those rubber bungs back in? You don't, do you? I don't think you do, because liquid wouldn't come out. So, you do. Yes, you do. Okay, right, okay. Oh, yeah, I remember. I'd have found out. Right, there we go. Right. Device. I'm going to put it on the precise again because it's got battery in it. Right, that seems to be sizzling. So here goes. Okay, what have I done wrong? There's no airflow at all. Give it a suck with that power first. Okay. There's no airflow at all. What am I doing wrong, guys? Yeah, I don't feel like I'm having a lot of luck tonight. Yeah, I think it's all the way in, yeah. You can see. It seems to be all the way in. Because of the recessed threads, that'll be it. That'll be it. I know. Let's put it on this. That's a bit better. Yeah. Whoever it was, the recessed threads, you were spot on. Right. Now this juice, I've never tried absinthe, the drink, but I'm seriously tempted to do it after trying this. Because that is really nice. Now, it's kind of almost minty flavour. But there's another taste there which isn't actually that familiar. It's hard to describe it. But I do quite like it. So I don't think I could vape this a lot. It's like an occasional change, you know. You know, I might keep one of these things loaded up with it or something for the evenings or something. Yeah, there is a vague taste of aniseed. Now, I don't like aniseed. As some of the guys that I was sitting with late last night will testify to, I'm not a fan of aniseed at all, but it doesn't really come across with that same sort of sickly aftertaste that I get from aniseed. But it is kind of reminiscent of it, yes. Is it a herby taste? No, not really. Not really. It has a sort of there's a slight taste there that it is vaguely alcoholic. It's really hard to describe, but it's quite pleasant. Now, as far as the device is concerned, okay, now I've put it on a device and it's got some airflow, and you guys reminded me to put the bung back in. That's obviously working quite well. Now, when I tried one previously, I found that, you know, you had to give it a bit of time between drags, otherwise it wouldn't wick properly. Just picked up on a comment there about the rock e-cigs and the fact that they look promising. I agree, and I will be following up on it. I was talking to the rep yesterday, and a guy called Greg Forster, and was saying to him that I was shocked. I was really very surprised, because he sort of, you know, handed me something that looked like an Ego, and I tried it, and I was quite shocked actually at how good they were. But I want to get hold of one and set it up and use it myself before I really pass any judgment on it. Okay, now that if you take a long drag, it starts to get a little bit dry at the end, but it's not terrible. No more than most atomizers, really. It's a huge improvement on the one I tried a couple of months back. I don't know what they've done to change it, but it is a much better atomizer. It is indeed the Bud Sapphire. Yes. For those that are asking, there's the box. And this one came from Daz at e-cigs. I tell you what, you compare that to a CE2 or CE3, and this is much better. Because I wouldn't have stuck it, I mean, you guys know, I would have chucked it by now if it was a bloody CE3. But I can't dry that out totally like I did with the last one. That's a huge improvement. They're all right, they are. Daz, thanks for handing that to me. That's really good. Okay, right, so now I've had some instructions from the control room, so I'm going to be here for another 8 minutes. Should be more like 7 really, because I've got the titles. So I'm absolutely gutted about that. I'm going to cry as soon as I go off air. I'm going to cry. £13. Let's have another take on that. I'm getting some pricing information from e-cigs in the chat. Shall I say it on air? They're £4.50 for a pack of 2. That's a pack of 2. 1, 2, £4.50. So yeah, they're worth a go actually. They're worth a go. Better than Clearos. What isn't? Yep, 78 viewers at the moment, as somebody's just mentioned. You know, they clearly like to see destruction. So, thanks if you get off on watching me break things. Right, okay. So, I just, like, you know, want to round off tonight by saying a huge thank you to the guys who organised Vape Fest. Now, we all know that Wayne was the main organiser, and Fiona, I believe, was heavily involved. Gary Dibley made all those box mods and was busy, and he was there the day before helping set up and everything, because, you know, regardless of what people think, these things don't organise themselves. I have some much smaller scale experience of organising a vape meet myself, and they take some effort. And I think Wayne did an absolutely cracking job. So all the guys that were there yesterday who were involved in whether it was folding raffle tickets or booking the hall or whatever, I thought they did a fantastic job. It was a hugely successful event. Yes, we could have done with a bigger room, but you know, the day they invent a crystal ball, then people can plan for that, can't they? One of the things that I believe, and I hope I'm not putting words in Wayne's mouth here, one of the principles of Vape Fest is that they don't want to make it a ticket event. They want it so people can turn up or not as they choose. And that was always going to make it difficult catering for the right number of people. But I thought they did an absolutely sterling job. But I also want to mention a guy who wasn't there yesterday, and that's Jaded. He did the websites, he did all the graphics for a lot of the stuff that we saw around the place. Did a fantastic job. You know, it came together, guys. You did a good job. And so well done. And I'm sure I speak for everybody that went. Well done. So already looking forward to next year's. I'm going to do another Midland meetup early next year sometime. So if anybody wants to help organise that, let's get Christmas out of the way and we'll start thinking about it. And I won't be as grand scale. It'll be a bit like it was last year, actually. Just good fun. Just a bunch of us get together and have a few beers. So if anybody's up for that, watch this space. But yeah, it was good fun, and to meet so many people. I don't want to preempt too much of what I'm going to have when I've edited all that video down. But I was talking with Wayne sort of towards the end of yesterday and sort of reflecting on the day. And one thing that struck me was there were a lot of people who'd sort of drifted in. They'd been vaping a week or two, or maybe were just thinking about taking up vaping and come to see what it was all about. And I couldn't believe just how much more sophisticated these newbies are. Because at the last Vape Fest, I'd been vaping for about 6 or 7 weeks. So I was fairly fresh face. I arrived there and the only mod I had was a screwdriver Mark II. Yeah. And I was using a Reaver mostly, and the screwdriver. And I was, you know, I was there to learn as much as I could. I guess much like the people that were there yesterday. But the sheer wealth of information that's out there at the moment. People, you know, they people who've been vaping a few weeks. They already knew what variable voltage was and everything. I guess it's down to the forum community and the way it's growing. So, but yeah, it was interesting that. So, and I've got some fairly interesting conversations and interviews that I did, which you'll see next week. But if you really need a video fix from Vape Fest 2011, then I think your first port of call has got to be the Vapor Mist show tomorrow night. So that's tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. And I know the guys there. I've had the extra day to edit. I saw Randy's comment earlier that they've transferred it all to a computer, which is no mean feat. So hopefully you'll start seeing a bit of footage of what was going on tomorrow. So, and hopefully I haven't just sold them up the river by committing to something they can't do. Meh. Anyway, I've done my 10 minutes, my extra 10 minutes. That's it from me this week. So I'll see you next week. Bye.